Welcome to the movie Speeching. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take good care. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is the name of the movie. Please like and subscribe to get every update. Several years ago, Genesis Laboratories developed a virus called ALZ-113 for testing on chimpanzees. This caused them to exhibit aggressive behavior, which then led to a major incident at the Golden Gate Bridge, where the chimpanzees confronted the police. This standoff caused the chimpanzees to run away and disappear into the forest. The virus, nicknamed simian flu, accidentally came into contact with humans, gradually developing into a pandemic leading to widespread population decline, possibly leading to the brink of human extinction. Years later, chimpanzees evolved into apes and evolved to develop methods of communication and even form their own civilization. They can now group together, hunt for food in large numbers, and even show proactive awareness of each other. Caesar was the leader of their tribe. His son, Blue Eyes, joins him on the hunt. After a successful hunt, they rode back home with their spoils. Ape civilization took the form of a tribal system living deep in the forest. They have an educational system to learn to read and write the alphabet. They had murals, wooden structures, hunting weapons, and even knew how to make fires. Upon returning home, Caesar saw his wife giving birth to their second son and told Blue Eyes about it. Caesar and the rhesus monkey, who had previously taught the young man named Maurice, had a conversation recalling the achievements of their civilization. Maurice then brings up the subject of humans, people with whom Caesar had close relationships in the past, asking him if he still thinks about them. Caesar replied that he sometimes did. Caesar explains the difference between the two creatures. Humans kill each other while the apes unite as a family. Caesar wonders if humanity will become extinct, to which Maurice responds by telling Caesar that they haven't seen humans in the past decade. One day, two monkeys were returning home from hunting when they met a man. The man was extremely scared when he saw the monkeys, so he pulled out a gun to threaten the monkeys and shot one of them. The gunshots angered the entire tribe, forcing them to rush to the scene to take action. Turns out the man wasn't alone. With him were 6 other people. After the monkey tribe arrived and surrounded them, the group's leader, Malcolm, said that they initially meant no harm. Malcolm, upon seeing Caesar, felt there was something strange about the apes. After briefly staring at the humans, Caesar shouted and told the group to leave. The group of monkeys chased them, scaring one person so much that he dropped his bag. Maurice collected the bag and gave it to Caesar. Caesar orders one of his apes, Koba, and 2 of his subordinates to follow the humans to their settlement. Malcolm and his men arrive at a quarantine checkpoint where their leader, Dreyfus, and several soldiers are stationed. They immediately inform Dreyfus of the dam situation. Malcolm tells Dreyfus that the dam, the reason they are there, is good enough to produce electricity. However, there is another problem. On the way back to the village, the group talked to Dreyfus about monkeys and their evolution. Dreyfus told them not to tell anyone because it could cause great panic. Ellie, Malcolm's wife and former doctor, explains that a small number of people still alive have genetic immunity to the virus. Malcolm, Dreyfus, and the others reach the colony. Meanwhile, Caesar and the apes meet to discuss the human situation. Some of the apes have wanted to go to war since humans first took blood, but Caesar wanted a diplomatic way to resolve the situation, declaring that they would lose what they had built if they went to war. After the meeting, Koba told Caesar about his unpleasant experience with humans and insisted on demonstrating their superiority and strength. This prompts Caesar and his tribe to mount their horses and enter the human settlement to make the announcement. When the monkeys arrived, the humans were frightened, but their curiosity made them gather at the gate to meet the tribe. Caesar without hesitation declared that he did not want to go to war but was willing to fight if they deemed it necessary. Caesar gave a warning before the tribe left, returning the abandoned bag and telling the humans never to return. Today, people are in a state of confusion and worry about the potential threats caused by apes. But a sympathetic Dreyfus gives a speech to reassure them that they will find a way to survive and find another source of power other than the dam. Once the crowd has settled, Malcolm tells Dreyfus that there is no other source of power other than the dam. Willing to take desperate measures, Dreyfus replied that he would have to fight the monkeys. He further explains that they must reconnect and search for other survivors around the world, and they must generate power for their radio transmitter. Not wanting to let the losses mount, Malcolm asked Dreyfus to give him 3 days to return and discuss with Caesar. Malcolm shows Dreyfus the bag returned to him to reassure him that Caesar is more than just an ape. Dreyfus told him that if Malcolm failed, he would have to resort to more drastic measures. Malcolm prepares for the trip. He tells Ellie about his plan and they, along with Alexander's son, Carver, who shot a monkey, Foster and Comp, head to where the monkeys are. They went there on a rainy evening. Malcolm tells everyone to stay in the truck, and if he's not back in 2 hours, they'll go back to camp without him. Malcolm leaves and reaches the entrance, where he is met by a group of angry monkeys. The monkeys pull Malcolm into the tribe, where an entire monkey civilization surrounds him. He raised both hands to express his surrender. Later, on the central platform of the tribe, Caesar appears to meet Malcolm. Malcolm immediately begged Caesar not to kill him and just wanted to show Caesar something to understand his intentions. Caesar quiets the crowd and listens to Malcolm's request. Malcolm, Caesar, and some monkeys head towards the dam. Malcolm tries his best to explain how they can restore power to the people using the dam. To Malcolm's surprise, Caesar understood that they were trying to create electricity. Malcolm further explained that they had no intention of harming the monkeys. If they do, they can kill him. Caesar agreed to let them do their work, but on the condition that they surrender their weapons. At the tribe, Koba expressed his disagreement with Caesar's decisions, explaining that humans would pose a potential threat if given power. Caesar tells him that he only did it for peace between humans and apes. Koba stubbornly insisted that Caesar was wrong to reveal his scars as a sign of human violence, but immediately fell silent when Caesar expressed his superior attitude. The next day, as the group begins to carry out their work under Caesar's supervision, Koba and his subordinates head towards the human settlement without Caesar's knowledge. There, they surreptitiously explored the armory where the weapons were kept. While in the armory, Koba was discovered by two armed men who immediately cornered him. With no other choice, Koba is willing to play the role of an idiot, performing random primitive movements in front of humans to fool them into thinking he is harmless. And just as Koba predicted, the confused men let Koba go free, thinking he was just a lost monkey. Malcolm and the others are working on the pipeline when a major accident occurs. Debris fell, trapping them and injuring Carver's leg. This prompts the monkeys to check what happened, and they immediately help clean up the debris, saving Malcolm and his men. Malcolm thanks Caesar for saving him and the others, but due to the debris and Carver's condition, he asks them for more time. Then a little monkey, Caesar's second son, approached the group and everyone looked at him with amazement. The baby monkey then discovers a weapon hidden in Carver's belongings, which immediately makes the monkeys hostile. Carver quickly pulled out his shotgun and threatened the monkeys when, to his surprise, Caesar outmatched him with his strength, snatched the shotgun away from him, and knocked him down. Caesar tried to shoot Carver with a gun, but Malcolm told Caesar to stop. Angry, Caesar points his gun at Malcolm, reminding him of his gun rules. Caesar showed mercy by throwing the shotgun into the river and telling the group to leave immediately. As Malcolm and the group follow, Malcolm runs to Caesar, hoping he can explain himself properly, and Ellie follows. The monkeys take Malcolm and Ellie to Caesar's house and discover his sick wife. Ellie sympathetically offers the medicine to Caesar and Caesar accepts. To show his gratitude, Caesar allowed them to stay another day and let his monkeys help them speed up their work. Carver was immediately kicked out and forced to stay in the truck. Soon after, Koba and his subordinates arrived at the tribe to report to Caesar about the weapons. Koba then walked towards the dam and immediately attacked Alex. Malcolm begged Koba to stop, and to everyone's surprise, Maurice defended them from Koba. Caesar then appears. Koba begins to question Caesar's decisions and leadership, telling him that he is being irresponsible to his people by choosing humans over them. This angered Caesar and he attacked Koba, defeating him. Koba cannot fight back and the fight becomes one-sided. Caesar almost strangles Koba but stops and remembers their rule that apes don't kill each other. Koba then stood up and apologized to Caesar. That night, Koba privately tells Blue Eyes that he should protect Caesar instead because Caesar no longer trusts Koba. Koba also told him that he feared that Caesar's trust in humans would threaten his own life. The next day, Maurice comes to see Alex. Alex gives Maurice the book he was reading as a token of gratitude for protecting him against Koba. The two happily shared a good time reading books. That morning, Koba returned to the armory and found the men from the other day drinking. Koba tricks them again, but this time Koba grabs a gun, kills the men, and takes the gun with him on the way home. Malcolm and the team finally finish repairing the dam's generator. That evening, the group and Caesar find a gas station in the woods that has a convenience store. The group enjoys some music and then Malcolm tells Caesar that they are done and will finally go home. Caesar tells Malcolm that he finally trusts them and the two shake hands. Caesar brought them back to the colony to show them that the light in their colony had indeed been restored. Then, when everything was going well, Caesar saw an armed Koba sneaking around. Koba shoots Caesar and hides. One of his henchmen also started a fire in the colony, burning down houses. This caused panic in the monkeys. Maurice immediately realized what was happening and told Malcolm and the group to run and get them out. Koba then took the stage and accused the humans of killing Caesar and setting the fire. Koba then acts as their new leader and rallies the apes to launch an invasion against humans. Back in the restored city, people party and celebrate. Dreyfus and his men eventually began expanding to other cities. Meanwhile, the monkeys break into the armory and steal the humans' weapons. Dreyfus was immediately informed of the attack, so he evaluated the colony, armed his forces, and prepared for defense. Dreyfus and his men waited impatiently as the monkeys on horseback approached the fog. The monkeys began shooting, forcing Dreyfus and his men to take cover. Dreyfus immediately responded by shooting accurately at the monkeys. It was a complete bloodbath. Blue Eyes watched his brothers die and struggled to survive. Koba then mounted one of the horses, picked up 2 rifles, and launched a fierce one-man counterattack. Dreyfus immediately responded by firing a rocket launcher and slowing the thrust. However, the apes gradually overwhelmed the men with their numbers, breaking through the first line of defense. To Dreyfus' surprise, a tank surrounded the apes, destroying many of them. But Koba noticed him, and thanks to his strange mobility, he stopped the tank, and from there the apes destroyed the defense. Dreyfus watched in horror, unable to protect his people from the invasion. The group finds an injured Caesar in the woods and helps carry him to their truck. Caesar told the confused group that a monkey had shot him, so they left immediately. The monkeys continued to hunt humans, running away with the intention of capturing them. A brave man tried to slow down the pursuit, but Koba knocked him down. Koba then ordered one of the monkeys to finish the man, but refused because he thought Caesar would not want it. Enraged, Koba dragged the monkey upstairs and threw it off the railing, killing it. Koba then strikes fear into the remaining questionable monkeys, including Blue Eyes, by telling them that Koba is now their new leader. The monkeys find a way to capture the remaining humans and take them somewhere to enslave them. Malcolm and the group arrive at an abandoned town that Caesar is leading them to. Here, they find themselves in Caesar's old house, and the group discovers that he once lived with a man. Malcolm tells Ellie that he will return to the colony to get the surgical kit needed to dress Caesar's wound. Monkeys put humans in cages and imprison them. Koba sends his monkeys to find the others and capture them. In the middle of the crowd, Blue Eyes was surprised to see Maurice and the other apes also imprisoned for their loyalty to Caesar. Maurice tells Blue Eyes to protect himself. Malcolm arrives at the colony and rushes inside. Malcolm gets the medicine but has trouble getting out when the monkeys approach his path. Malcolm tries his best to avoid them but is greeted by the silhouette of a monkey holding a gun. The monkey reveals himself to be Blue Eyes, who helped Malcolm when he learned that Caesar was still alive. Blue Eyes and Caesar happily reunite, and Caesar tells Blue Eyes about Koba. That evening, Caesar realized his mistakes, his misplaced confidence, and his views on humans and apes. Blue Eyes tells Caesar about Maurice, the prisoners, and Ash's death. Caesar now desperately wants to stop Koba, and Blue Eyes is ready to help him. The next day, Blue Eyes comes up with a plan to free the imprisoned monkeys. That evening, Blue Eyes lures the guardian monkeys onto the prison bus, and with the strength of Maurice and the others, they take down the guardian monkeys. Blue Eyes helps them, and they free themselves along with the remaining human prisoners. Caesar suddenly remembered his old house. He finds a camera and emotionally watches a video of the time he spent with his kind old friend. Malcolm walks in and they talk for a while until Blue Eyes and the refugees arrive. Blue Eyes tells Caesar that Koba is planning something terrible, so Caesar, Malcolm, and the remaining monkeys immediately head to the colony. In the tunnel, Malcolm meets Dreyfus, but not before telling the monkeys to follow the path leading directly to the colony and separate from the monkeys. Malcolm discovers that Dreyfus and some of his remaining men are planning to blow up the tower and that Dreyfus needs Malcolm's help. Malcolm feels conflicted about this, so after thinking, he delicately picks up a rifle and points it at Dreyfus' team, telling them that they should give Caesar a chance. Caesar and the others arrive at the top of the tower, where Koba and his henchmen are. The two had a brief verbal confrontation where they clashed opinions and hurled insults. This eventually leads to a one-on-one fight to prove who is stronger. Koba was aggressive and punched Caesar, causing them both to fall. Standing up, Koba pushed the attack and threw punches at Caesar, and they fell with some debris. Caesar stood up and looked at Koba, who was injured from the fall. Malcolm continues to stall for time, trying to convince Dreyfus that he should give the apes a chance. The fight continues at the tower. Koba continued his attack with his metal rod while Caesar was on the defensive, jumping from platform to platform. The race stopped when Caesar picked up a metal stair step as a shield. Caesar tells Koba that he mistakenly believed in trusting him as a brother. Koba tells Caesar that he is only fighting for the apes while continuing to attack Caesar defensively. Caesar later refuted his claim, telling Koba that he was only fighting for himself. This angered Koba to the point of absurdity, and he continued to launch attacks until his wound burst. This gave Caesar the opportunity to fight back and hit him hard in the wound. Caesar was now counterattacking, blocking Koba's blows until he almost collapsed. But Koba can still fight back and fight. Malcolm continues to stall again, but Dreyfus finally distracts him enough to move quickly to grab the detonator. Dreyfus stops for a moment and tells Malcolm that he is only saving humanity, then blows up himself, his team, and the tower's foundations. Malcolm was able to avoid the explosion by jumping to a safe position by the tracks. The explosion interrupts the fight between Koba and Caesar and further causes the tower to collapse, increasing the number of casualties of the 8 men above it. Caesar and his men survive thanks to a few monkeys. Koba also survives and retrieves a weapon from one of the dying monkeys. In a desperate attempt, Koba tries to shoot Caesar and several monkeys who were helping other injured monkeys. Koba punches Maurice, causing Caesar to aggressively charge at Koba, knocking him over the edge of the tower and now clinging to a damaged platform. Caesar approaches the platform and Koba, desperate to live, reminds Caesar that apes don't kill each other. Caesar pulled Koba's hand as if trying to help him, but he glanced at his wounded and came to a simple conclusion, that Koba is no longer a part of it. Caesar then let go of Koba's hand, and Koba fell screaming and died. Caesar gathered the monkeys on the colonial grounds. There, he sees a group of monkeys dragging Malcolm out of the subway. Caesar tells the monkeys to leave Malcolm. Malcolm immediately informs Caesar that soldiers are coming and that the apes are in danger, and tells them that they must leave. Caesar acknowledges the apes' wrongdoing, telling Malcolm that they have started a war that humans will not forgive. Caesar tells Malcolm to leave before the battle begins. The two share their feelings for a short time, then Malcolm slowly leaves. Caesar and Blue Eyes happily reunite with the rest of the family, and the monkeys gather together. The monkeys then bow to Caesar, recognizing him as their rightful leader. Caesar stood watching the rising sun, waiting for the storm to come. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.